everyone. Good day to you. Hello, hello, hello. We're just gonna wait for the room to come in. How is everyone doing today? For those of you who are watching the recorded live, good afternoon, good evening, good night, good morning, hi. How are you? Comment down below where you're from. I'd love to know where you are. We're talking to you live. Well, if you're watching the recorded, this was one time live, duh. We're coming to you from Ontario, Canada. So it's nice to see you. Welcome. So I'm just going to give it about 5 minutes, maybe two to 5 minutes, and see who comes in. We've been learning a lot about narcissism lately, and so maybe, you know, we're learning so much that it's a lot to take in, but this learning is easy in bringing knowledge to the forefront of this toxic soup of what narcissism is and what isn't. And it's just been so informative and so enlightening that I'm kind of, you know, now it's just, we're talking in repetitive patterns, in the way of, you know, you've got to really learn, you've got to have those repetitive patterns. You got to set your knowledge on repeat, and that's the cycle I think this channel is going in. And so maybe some people are saying, oh yeah, I'm just going to give this channel a break. Don't give us a break. Keep going. Stay with it. Because this is a learning channel. Hi, welcome, nice to see you. This is a learning channel, and you're gonna learn something new. And even though we repeat some things, maybe, you know, I like to do at the end of the week, I like to do just a recap of what we learned during the week. Excuse me, during the week. And sometimes, well, oftentimes, when we do a recap or we cover a topic we've already covered a few days before, we learn new things. We are always learning something new. Even if, like this topic today about triggers, I've talked about triggers before, but I guarantee you we're going to learn something new about triggers that we didn't talk about in previous videos. So please just keep that in mind. Please don't think, oh yeah, she's talking about another topic. I already know about triggers. I already know about this. I heard this from, you know, Dr. Romani or Dr. Seth, or I heard about this from a different channel, you know, the Royal We. You know what? God shows up. God shows up with us, and where two or more come together in agreement in his name, there he is. So he is giving us knowledge and understanding, and he's going to give us something new about triggers. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. So stick around. So welcome everyone. Welcome to this channel. If you are new here, please subscribe, as we have new content coming at you every day in live videos. And check out the shorts and the other videos too. But lives is what we do on the daily at 1:00 p.m. Eastern Time. And sometimes we do lives also at 10:00 Eastern Standard Time. And we do Bible studies at 2 p.m. Sundays. So you're more than welcome to join us whenever you have the time. We appreciate you spending your time with us and helping making this channel grow, because this is your channel, not just my channel. This is our channel. So let's get on with this. Did you know that you cannot change a narcissist? That means they cannot change you. We're going to explain that in this video. Did you know that the only one who can change is you? And you have to give yourself permission to change. God can't even change you. Yeah, you heard that right. God's not up in heaven, and he's not residing in your heart saying, you change and get with the program or else, Missy or Mr. No, it's not like that at all. You have to give yourself permission to change, and how you give yourself permission is you have to want to change, as you have to see the need to change. Narcissists cannot change because they've given up that free will. They've given up that right to change because they no longer see the need to change. You challenge them on change and they will fight you tooth and nail, and they will argue, no, I don't need to change. You need to change. No, I'm not the narcissist. You're the narcissist. They are missing something. You have what they don't have, and they want what you have that they can never have or get. They try to steal and hijack what you've got, but that doesn't mean that they gain it from you. So instead of talking in circles here, let's just get to the point. If you believe that a narcissist has changed you, it's because you have given them permission to do so. Don't take offense. Just listen to what I'm going to say, because this is going to make sense. And it may not make sense to you right now, because if you are still so raw in your trauma, raw in those emotions, please don't listen to me with your ego. Take a breath, keep an open mind, keep an open heart, and just stay present in the moment. And you will find that this information does make sense. So, if you believe that a narcissist has changed you, it is because you have given them permission to do so. And I'm speaking from experience, because I have been harmed by many a narcissist. And it's because I put myself in positions that disempowered me. I put myself in positions that took away my empowerment. And I put myself in positions with the narcissist that revealed to them that I was not self-empowered, even though I thought I was. So that is an ownership that I take myself personally, and I have taken steps to change it. So the reason why that we are controlled by the narcissist is because we have relinquished responsibility of holding ourselves to our values. And the reason why we do this is because we didn't believe in our values or believe in ourselves in the first place. We weren't so self-aware as we thought. Hey, puppy lover, how you doing? Nice to see you. Welcome. It is through your complacency you became compliant to the narcissist. Ooh. It only seems like they have control when in actuality they used your free will of making a choice against you. So let's just talk about that, okay? But let me introduce myself to you. Hello, my name is Shannon Gilmore, and you are watching Positively Spiritual. This is your place to be, to become the change that you want to see in you and in the world. On this channel, we dissect psychology, spirituality, and science, and combine all three to see if they can help make scripture make a little bit more sense, because when it does come to human nature and human design, the Bible is a little bit vague, not as descriptive as some of us need it to be, myself included. So, awesome. Hello, good afternoon, GS. It's nice to see you. GS says, I am the change. Yes, you are. We are the change that we want to see in the world, and we're here on this healing hub to help heal each other and empower one another to become that change, to stay the course, to steady the course and keep moving forward. So, knowledge is power, and this channel will empower you to become the change that you do want to be, so that you can be the change for somebody else. On yesterday's live, we talked about triggers. This was just a random conversation that we had. We didn't know we were going to talk about triggers, and Keith came on and just mentioned that he still is triggering in some aspects of his life. And I too find that I have triggers. They get less and less, but you'll notice that you do get triggered, and it's important that we take a look at those triggers and ask ourselves, why? Why am I feeling this way? Why is that situation or this person triggering me? What is going on with me? We're going to talk about that in this live. Now, triggers are not caused by the narcissist in the way that you think. Hi, Marlene. It's nice to see you. Welcome. Triggers are actually a provoked response. The narcissists provoke you to respond to them in a way that they desire. But in truth, the narcissist is not triggering you. You allow yourself to be triggered because you allow yourself to be controlled. Oh, just hang on. We're getting somewhere with this. We assume we are powerless under their machinations, under the manipulations. We assume that we are powerless under the narcissist's control. When the truth is that we could not see the lies that they were manipulating us with, that caused us to form an attachment bond to them. The triggering is just a response. That's all it is a set of feelings, or maybe one dominant feeling that comes to the surface, and we roar, we shout, we rage, we react in a way that is unbecoming of our natural baseline behavior. And we do this in attempts to establish boundaries and prevent the narcissist or the other person or the situation from further manipulating and controlling us and making us decide and make a decision that we don't want to make. Triggering is a way for us to form rigidity, as it's a way for us to stand in our no and in our power. And there's a right way and a wrong way to stand in our emotional power. And triggers, they're a fear-based response out of something that is happening to you or something that has happened to you. And what is happening is you don't feel safe. You feel emotionally and physically unsafe as you feel disempowered. So the reason for that unsafe feeling, those are based on the direct actions and attitudes of the person or situation whom we trusted ourselves, our hearts and minds with. And when we trusted them, they proved to do nothing, absolutely nothing to protect and nurture us. So triggering is a response to say to someone, hey, I don't feel safe here. Hey, you are unsafe to me. Hey, I am in a situation with you that makes me feel like I am going to be in a position of vulnerability again, to which I am devalued and disrespected. And that's the key to focus on, the word disrespect. When you release yourself over to a trigger, it is because the disrespect has built up and built up upon itself to the point where you can no longer tolerate it anymore. You're up to here with the tolerance of disrespect, and you will not tolerate it anymore. So your tolerance level has been breached, and you finally react. You're patient to a point, and now the disrespect is enough, is enough, is enough, is enough. No more. So this is what you're reacting to, the disrespect. When someone disrespects you, it is a signal to you that they do not value you and cannot see your worth. We let disrespect slide because we think that if we say something or react to that and say, hey, no, that's not appropriate. No, hey, I don't go for that. Hey, no, you can't talk to me like that. When we let disrespect slide, it's a signal to us, as we are then saying to somebody else that we're not bitchy, we're not glitchy, we're not mean. But the truth of the matter is, at this point of the first disrespect, that should not be your concern, whether you come across as being, unagreeable or bitchy or complaining or rude. At the first disrespect, who frickin' cares? Because when someone whom you do not know disrespects you, they are establishing boundaries. They are taking the initiative, not control. They are taking initiative to see how and where these boundaries from you are. That's your responsibility to establish the boundary line and hold it. And when someone disrespects you, you say, hey, no. It's just like on this channel. Marlene says, exactly, pushers get pushed. Yes. And it's like this channel. Sometimes we get people on here who like to button push and cause mayhem and cause problems. I'm looking for moderators, by the way, so email me if you're interested in moderating, and we can work out a time and go through all the particulars to that. But sometimes we get people on here who just want to be the distraction. And like yesterday, there were people on here who were causing distractions and making it all about them. Look at me, I'm this, I'm that, whatever. And sometimes I have to stop the video feed, take a pause, take a half an hour break, and start again. Hi, Keith, nice to see you. Welcome. Hope your day is going well. Hello to the wife, Connie. So, a year ago doing these videos, I've never come across the naysayers. I've never come across these people who like to cause distractions. But had this happened to me a year ago, I would have let it slide. I would have just and I would have indulged it. I would have talked to them. I would have, oh, you're talking about this. Okay, let's talk about that. I would have allowed the video content to be distracted. And instead of talking about triggers, I would have talked about what that person, the person who wanted to control the room, I would have been, talking about that. And I would have allowed myself and this video platform to be disrespected by people who just want to cause problems. But if you guys have watched these videos and seen these people who want to distract, I put up boundaries and I call out the disrespect right away and say, hey, no, we can't do that on this channel. There's the door. Click the X, bye-bye, leave. You're not wanted. I give people the benefit of the doubt, but you step over the line, it's like, no go. Why do I do that? Because I have self-respect. I have respect for myself, but not only respect for myself, I have respect for you and this channel. This is our channel. It's up to us and it's up to me to maintain this channel to be what it is we want it to be. So it's up to you to maintain your channel, maintain your headspace, your heart space, and maintain it and let it be what you want it to be. So be aware that triggers are because of disrespect. And you let it go, and you let it go, you let it go. Yeah, our safe place, exactly. That's what this is. And you let it go, and the narcissist keeps disrespecting you because they know they can get away with it. And they're seeing how far they can go with you. And so when someone disrespects you, it's a signal to you, but you're not aware of it. You're not awake to yourself yet. And it's a signal to you that they do not value you, and they will never value you, and they cannot see your worth, and you're not aware of that. People say that, younger generations often interview older generational couples, and they say, what's the secret to a long-lasting relationship? How have you guys made your relationship last 40 years? And you know what the couple says? It's not about love, it's about respect. Because when you have respect, that's when you have trust. And when you have trust, that's when you can love unconditionally. Respect is the number one thing that make relationships work. Any kind of relationship, partnership, mutual friendship, intimate relations, it's about respect. And the narcissist disrespects you. Yes, Keith, making a pact no one can break. Yeah, and you make that pact with yourself first. And the reason why I am speaking for myself, that I think the majority of the reasons why we let disrespect go is because we don't want to come across as being bitchy or glitchy or rude and mean and nasty and judgmental, and we want to be liked, right? Well, like I said, who cares? When you're at the initial beginning stages of a relationship and that disrespect or that boundary is breached, that's your onus. That responsibility is on you to say, hey, wait a minute, that's a no-go. I don't put up with that. We'll get along fine, just don't talk to me like that. And if a person really values you, they will honor your value by honoring your boundary. They may forget, and so you may have to say, hey, I already told you, I'm going to let it slide this one time, but I already told you I don't like that kind of talk, and you cannot talk to me like that. So if you continue to disrespect me, you will leave me no choice but to cut off our communication. And you have to make good on your word. It's not about you or them, it's about you. Exactly. Just show respect if you can't be nice. Exactly. Do you know, I personally respect evil. I personally respect the narcissist. I've been through the narcissistic merry-go-round roller coaster of a ride so many times. I no longer want to get back on, but hey, I respect what they bring to the table. I respect them in the way I don't like them. I don't like what they stand for, but I respect them because if it wasn't for the narcissist, I would not be who I am right now, and I would not be able to teach and do what I love and teach you guys and teach all of us and share the word of God. If it was not for the narcissist revealing to me my own narcissism that I use to betray myself that's worthy of respect. So when you actually prejudge somebody and allow that disrespect to happen because you're like, oh, I can't be seen as being somebody who is unagreeable and unworkable and, you know, not easy to work with. I have to have this air of everybody gets along with me. I'm so nice. You're prejudging other people based on the judgment that you have on yourself. And saying, oh, I have to have everybody, you know, I have to get along with everybody and everybody must like me, so I'm just going to let go of this disrespect. I'm just not going to say anything because I don't want to be portrayed as being a biatch or a glitchy person. Well, that's a judgment you put on yourself because it's an attempt to excuse your complacency, your complacent behavior you have towards yourself. And what that judgment is projecting the problem that you see onto others when the reality is you are the problem. And you may not know it, but your spirit knows it, your ego knows it, and so you project on the problem onto other people to alleviate your responsibility of working on yourself and seeing yourself as who you really are. Being nice is good, but it's also a bad thing. Keith says, our present ideal of the outcome is a setup for failure. Absolutely it is. You're your own worst enemy. Having these prejudgments is a self-fulfilling prophecy. It's like you go into a situation and say, oh, I got to portray as being nice because I am nice. I am so likable. And so you prove that you're likable by letting things slide and letting it go. And what happens? It shows you that people don't really like you. So what you fear comes back to you and proves to you what you fear. Yeah, it's preset. So this is what we tell ourselves. I can't say that because it's wrong and disrespectful behavior to, you know, disrespect somebody else by standing up for myself. We don't stand up for ourselves because we tell ourselves, oh, somebody's going to get offended. Hi, Joe. Welcome to the party. How you doing? Hope you're having a good day. So yeah, we're just talking about triggers here. So, it's, you know, have you ever been told that you're too nice? I have. I get told I'm nice all the time. Well, I like my nice nature, but don't mistake that for being absorbent and compliant and complacent. I used to be that way, but not anymore. It's the thing of being innocent as the dove and shrewd as a snake. I look the part of being innocent and nice and kind, and I am. That's who I am, and I love who I am. Thank God, God has made me that way. But you put a narcissist in front of me, and I'm still nice and kind to them, but I don't absorb what they say, and I am not so willing to take their jokey banter and their charm and their flattery as what they want me to believe. It's like, yeah, I'm taking that with a grain of salt. Thank you very much. Yeah, being nice got me used by the ex. Exactly. Being nice gets you used. And I've had somebody say, you know what your problem is? You're too nice. No. It's being nice is a good quality. Being too agreeable, that's where the problem is. We're too agreeable. Having an agreeable nature is always saying yes, always being the nice one, always being the complacent, nice guy, where sometimes you gotta disagree. Because if you're always agreeable, that's where you're gonna get stepped on. And God doesn't want us being a doormat. Being agreeable is not keeping the peace. We are called to be peacemakers, yes. But God also says, do not allow yourself to be refuted. We're allowed to stand up for ourselves. We just don't argue with an evil person. Do not stand against an evil person. Meaning, do not argue an evil person's ego. Don't argue with that. Know who you're dealing with. We are to test the spirits to see if they are of God. Let somebody talk. Let them reveal their fruit to you, their spiritual fruit. If you just meet somebody in a crowd and the group of you are all talking amongst yourselves and you're hearing gossip, you're someone who's trying to hog the conversation and they're gossiping about other people and they're triangulating, like, the signs of narcissism now. You can see it immediately just by meeting somebody. Let them talk. When you let somebody talk about themselves or about situations, you learn a lot. Become observant. Don't absorb, just observe. Because your observation, you'll see the red flags. You'll see them tell on themselves and you'll be able to, okay, that person I cannot trust. So I have to have certain boundaries and protocols in place when I'm dealing with that person. Okay. Be aware. Be self-aware, because self-awareness is protecting. Boundaries protect you from harm. So that's the number one rule. Be nice, be kind, considerate, courteous, but don't allow yourself to be agreeable. Discern when it's appropriate to be agreeable and discern when it's appropriate to stand up for yourself or somebody else and say, hey, dude, that's not appropriate. Hey, man, that was uncalled for. So we do not allow ourselves to stand up for the disrespect because we don't want to come across as offending somebody. So why is it okay that we don't offend somebody, but it's okay that somebody offends us? It's because we think other people are better than us. That's where that's coming from. It's coming from an unspoken, unthought of reaction of unworthiness. You don't think you're worthy. In God's sight, everybody is equal. Man and woman, elderly and child, and evil and good. We're equal. But God says, do not think of yourself more highly than you ought. That means we are allowed to think of ourselves highly. And God says that I have given you authority over snakes and scorpions, the evil of this world. But don't lord it over them. Just rejoice that your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life. It's the narcissist that lauds over us. Oh, I'm better than everybody. It's the enemy that twists and turns God's word upside down. They live by that rule. I have given you authority over snakes and scorpions. To the narcissist, we are the snakes and scorpions. And they laud it over us by this false sense of security by saying, oh, I'm better than everybody. They have this deluded sense of superiority. And guess what? They're not written in the Lamb's Book of Life. And they are deluded and they lead themselves to believe, oh yeah, everybody else is lesser. We are lesser than God, and does God laud it over us? He doesn't say, watch your P's and Q's, Missy, because I'm God and I put you into this world and I can take you out of it. Have you ever heard parents say that? What a horrible thing to say. It's not even a funny joke. And God never, ever, ever says anything like that to us. So we don't say things like that to other people. But we are allowed to think of ourselves in high esteem. We are allowed to be proud of who we are. We are allowed to be proud of where we come from. We come from heaven. We're allowed to let that shine on earth. Hey, I'm heaven's child. This is me. Welcome. We're allowed to let our light shine. Keith says, we were not allowed to stand up for ourselves much at all in the family setting because of the present power of birth order dynamic. But as we grow up, that should disappear. Marlene says, that's why Satan got cast out of heaven by God. Exactly. Keith says, go along to get along. Yeah. And going along with the flow, going along to get along, is not healthy. It's what gets us ousted. It's what gets us used as that doormat. So we're just so complacent, and it's like, oh, we mustn't offend. But in actuality, when we tell ourselves that, oh, we can't stand up for ourselves because we're going to come across as bitchy and glitchy and rude and mean, and we don't want to offend anybody, well, that is an excuse. That's an excuse from our ego. And we tell ourselves that because we are intimidated by other people's so-called thoughts and impressions and perceptions about us. And that is a projection, as it is a judgment on ourselves. We put that judgment there. Oh, I'm not as good as that person. So instead of dealing with that, we ignore that, and our ego it's like a barrier of ignorance, that we're not aware that that's what we're really feeling. And there's this hidden barrier, and we end up projecting that hidden thought, that hidden belief about ourselves onto other people. And oh no, I can't offend because I got to think about other people before myself. And that's what we're taught. We're taught to think about others before ourselves and our own needs. And that has done us harm. So I was sitting outside and I thought I was having a good day, and it reminded to see if you were on, and you were. Awesome. Good day so far. Excellent. I'm glad you're having a good day. That's wonderful to hear. So I just want to be bold and blunt and say, you know what? If you're meeting somebody for the first time, you know who you are. You know what you bring to the table. You know that you're kind, you're peaceful, and you're respectful. And you're all these things, so treat others the way that you want to be treated. But recognize how you are treating others, so that when they can't see that they are disrespecting you, you can say, hey, you know what? I consider that disrespect, and I don't go for that. Hey, you know what? I know that must be funny to you, but for me, I don't do sarcasm. I don't think sarcasm's funny. So can we just stop the jokes for now and just concentrate on the work at hand? There is a way to be respectful. You can gain respect by being respectful. And you'll be surprised that people really respect you when you stand up for yourself in a respectful way, where you maintain the level of respect given to other people and by still standing up for yourself. It's assertiveness, and people love assertiveness. So I want to be bold and say this, that when you're encountering somebody, just go into it with, who cares? Who cares about what this perceived idea of what other people think about you? Because it's not your business to know what other people think about you. It's not your business to get inside the minds of others and figure out what they're thinking, why they're thinking it, where they're thinking, how they're thinking, what they're doing. Get out of their heads. You've got no business being in there. That's not your business. God says, mind your business. So mind your business. Keep your business focused on you and God. And go into meeting new people. Who cares what other people think? All the world is a stage anyways. We're just acting out our emotions and acting out to, get attention and get a need fulfilled. So why not be bold and boisterous in the boundaries of morality? Why not be funny? Why not take a step forward and let your soul shine in, whatever it is, creativity? If you're talking to somebody for the first time, who cares what they think, and just let your light shine. Let your voice stop being monotone. Let your voice show excitement. Let your voice convey happiness and joy. You only get what you want when you ask for it, or you take it. You want people to notice you? Take it. By being noticeable in a way that allows other people to shine as well. Don't just hog all the accolades for you. You want respect? Be respectful and show people the areas where they inadvertently or knowingly disrespect you. And you can do that. You can respect yourself and ask them to respect you by maintaining a level of respect for them. Yeah, most people don't ask, they just wish. They hope and pray. And they expect other people to know what you think, and they expect other people to know what you want. It's like me. I'm a peer support mentor. I can't help you if you don't ask. It's like God. He is our Father, but he won't step over our free will, and so he's not going to help us unless we ask. He has mercy on us, so he does step in and help us when we can't see the dangers. But initially, for the most part, he does not help us in areas where we really want and need help, where we're hoping and praying and wishing and blah, blah, blah. He won't overstep our free will. And so we have to ask, because asking gives acknowledgement to our needs. Asking gives ourselves the acknowledgement of being self-aware. And before you ask, it's important to go into the situation and ask yourself, what is it exactly that I need? Because when God says, be specific in your prayer, don't ramble. When you ramble on a situation, and I'm guilty for that, sometimes I ramble. But when we ramble, we kind of lose people's attention. Because it's like, yeah, you said that already. Yeah, and you know what? Just let's get to the point. Tell me what do you want? You know that time when we were out for a coffee and we sat down and the barista came and served us, and I had the locomote and you had the choca maca double espresso. Yeah, what's your point? Get on with it. And we're sitting there waiting, but inside we're just like, ooh, this is like nails on a chalkboard. Just get on with it. Well, God says this, be specific. Know what you're going to say. When I go into prayer, I often rehearse what I'm going to say because I want to be specific with God. I want to make it known to myself. I'm decisive in my own mind. I know what I want, and there's no going back on that. There's no going, well, maybe I want this, maybe I don't. Maybe I think that's what I want. No, it's I know what I want and I know what I know. So when I go to God in prayer, I can say, God, I want this. God, I don't want that. I prefer this. I want this. Thank you very much. It's like when I drive my car, whenever I go and drive my car, I say, God, get me to my destination safely and home safely. Thank you. And I believe it. There's no second guessing. It's done. I know what I want and I receive what I want because I know God's protecting me. Hi, Skittles. Nice to see you. Welcome. Skittles says, I'm very indecisive and it is such a block. Here's an exercise in getting over that block. Write down what it is that you think you want and expand on it. Expand on the pros and cons. What would happen if? How would you feel if you got what you wanted? What would happen, good or bad? This is an exercise in getting to know yourself, getting to know who you are, getting to know what makes you tick. Because people cannot fulfill your needs if you don't know what your need is specifically for yourself. It's about specificity. It's about being specific. And God says, do not ramble. Do not ramble like the Pharisees and Sadducees do. They ramble and think that their words, their multitudes of words are going to get them what they want. No, what ends up happening is you hear your own voice and you start trying to convince your ego. You take your ego into your prayer time and you start convincing God, but really you're trying to convince yourself, yeah, that's right. Yeah, no, oh yeah, this point. Oh yeah, I never thought of that before. Oh, yeah, no, I know I said this, but I really want this. You're wishy-washy. This is what God says is, you're like the waves on the sea, wishy-washy. And, this double-mindedness is like looking at yourself in a mirror and walking away and forgetting what you look like. You don't know yourself, so if you don't know yourself, how can you know what you want? Skittle says, wow, I do journal a lot. Yeah, great. Journaling helps. Absolutely. So, change the negative from a positive, Skittle says, is what you want, not what you don't have. Exactly. And Keith says, say I want it out loud. Exactly. Be decisive. And I'm guilty for this. I'll say to God, God, I've got rent due today, and I need some money, and I'm sheepish of asking God because we're taught that the love of money. I don't love money. I need it. Everybody needs money. Everybody needs food. God, I need some food today. Or God, can you really give me that job? I'm guilty for it too because I'm weak in my self-will. I don't know myself. So when I ask God, we are supposed to be bold. And if we can be bold with God and come boldly as we are to the throne room, surely we can do that with other people. But why are we bold with God, but we're not bold with other people? Why are we putting the needs of other people first before our own needs and just neglecting ourselves and letting other people walk all over us? It's about energy. It's not complicated when you start understanding, and take your grade 9, grade 10 science with you into this, because we are just all packets of energy. We're just, think of yourself as an atom or an electron. The energy in you is, a bunch of electrons, going around in a toroid. And our emotions are on electrons, and we give off electrons or we absorb electrons. It's like we're cations or anions, right? So, and we come together as a cohesive unit, 2 by 2, and we make pair bonds. Ooh. So, God is extremely positive. So when we're negative, we come to God to exchange our negatives with his positives. And how we do that is read his word. God says, I love you with an everlasting love. So there's a positive. But the negative is so strong in us, and then we say, no, I'm unworthy. And how we feel unworthy is because we go through the example. We don't think of the examples that God has given us and shown us that we are worthy, that we are loved. Because our life is so up close and personal, we're here. This is, excuse me, we are so up close and personal to our life that we don't see the life that God has given us. The very breath in our lungs is life-giving, and because we do this constantly, it doesn't stop. We don't stop breathing, that we misunderstand that the breath of life is in our lungs, and life is spirit. And because we're so close, our spirit is in our blood, it's close to us, we don't have the proper perspective. And so when we go to God and we say, God, show me that you love me, and I'm guilty for this. God shows you every minute of the day, every second, every nth of a second by your breath. Just check your breathing. The fact that you're breathing and you've been given life, that was and is and forever will be love, and it will never be taken from you. Exactly. Replace the words I can't with can. God said that to me one day. I was, focused on this channel, of growing this channel, becoming, what God wanted me to be, as God has given me dreams of being a teacher and helping others. And I've been helping others for so long. And I just had visions of my own, of what I wanted to be when I growed up after I get rid of all this trauma. And I just like, oh, I gotta have it now. It's like, and God shared this with me, that I can be a teacher because I am a teacher, but I can teach because I was just like, God, give me people to teach. I want to teach. And God said, you can teach. And because you can teach, you already are. You don't need people to teach. You are who you are. You are who I say you are. You are who I direct you to be. We may plan our steps where we want to go, but God directs our steps. We plan our lives, but God directs our steps. God makes a way for us because we are who He says we are. We are one with God, so we all are teachers. We all are students. We all are leaders. We all are counselors. We're all mothers, daughters, fathers, sons, grandparents. Everything that God is, creator, we also are. because we came from him and he is in us. Our words create. So when you tell yourself you can't, that is effectually putting those words into practice through your intent. Your intent is your emotion. When you say I can't, you're putting a barrier for all the things that are coming to you that God says you can. All those things that show you that you can are stopped because the intent in your words, that emotion evokes a static electrical barrier. We talked yesterday in our live about, I think her name is Jessica. She was being thought attacked and gang stalked through electricity. And we are electrical beings. And so the enemy can get into our minds and thought attack us. And the enemy can get into us with dreams. There's energy all around us. It's called the Schumann resonance. There's electromagnetic waves going through us and all around us at every given moment. Keith says, God says you can, the devil says you can't. Exactly. And we believe the devil based on what we see, based on our past experiences. But God says, I don't need to prove to you that I love you. I have already proved that by giving you breath, by giving you life. So that says we can. That breath of life is God's character. That breath of life that was breathed into Adam's nostrils is in us as it is created. Blood is created in the rib bone and life is in the blood. So the marrow, whatever bone in our body has marrow, creates blood. And blood is where our spirit, the breath of life, resides. But we have become desensitized to our heart breathing, our heart beating, our lungs breathing, our blood surging through our bodies. We can't even feel our blood surging through our bodies. We can't even feel that pressure wave that the pulsation of our heartbeat makes that surges through our blood. We can't feel that pressure wave. So we're just do. We're ignorant to it. A Christian should take on that positive attitude you spoke about. Yeah, we should, but we don't. And I'm guilty for it because the bad things that happen to us. And God says, forget about the former things. Don't keep thinking on the past. But psychology says, no, that's to dismiss your pain is to invalidate you. Well, okay. So let's work through our pain to desensitize it so that we can know ourselves and start believing the truth. And the truth is that God is life. We're set free by his truth. We're not set free by working out our emotions. And this goes against everything this channel stands for. But when you heal, you start learning. When you heal, you see pain is what causes ignorance. Pain and that negativity acts as that static electrical barrier to knowledge. And knowledge is truth, and knowledge comes from God. Okay, Keith, it's nice to see you. Have a good day. Keith says, I've got to get back to my work. Thank you for helping me and chat later. We'll be back here later. So thank you for showing up and contributing and sharing your thoughts too. This is great. So triggers happen to us because we have allowed ourselves to be disrespected. And we've been allowing ourselves to disrespect ourselves because we don't know the Word of God. We don't know who we are, as we've been listening to the negativity of our egos through the negative experiences that we experience. As we've put judgment on these experiences. God says, judge not, lest ye be judged. By the same measure you judge someone or something, you will reap that same judgment. So by allowing ourselves to continually feel the judgment of trauma, the judgment of the narcissist, we are piling on judgment after judgment after judgment, as we are the biggest judgments of ourselves. And so when we say, oh no, I can't stand up for myself because I'm going to show people that I'm bitchy. That's your judgment, not theirs. Where did that judgment come from that standing up for yourself is wrong? Where does it say in any book or in any logical capacity that standing up for yourself causes other people to think that you're unruly? Somewhere inside of you, your ego is saying that you're unruly. Where did that idea ever come from? From your past, where your mom or your dad said you were unruly and you offended your mom and dad, or they showed offense. That's with them, not you. You personalized the feelings that they made you feel through their disappointment and their own reactions of you, and they projected the reactions that they felt in any given moment, they projected onto you. And it wasn't you thought that because they're interacting with you in a negative way, you must have done something wrong. And so you have identified yourself with these feelings of these negative, unwanted feelings because you must have done something wrong for mommy or daddy to speak to you that way. And because of their reaction, you now feel bad. So now, when you were younger, you took it upon yourself to always be happy and always be funny and always make mommy and daddy happy so that they don't negatively react to you. See, we have no way of knowing as children. Our world around us is a part of who we are. We're not yet disassociated with our family members and our family and our toys and things that make us feel good. The TV is a part of us. Our stuffy and our blanket is a part of us. That's why we can't get rid of them. That's why, our parents say, oh, it's their coping mechanism. It makes them feel good. They have a security blanket. It makes them feel good at night. They can't sleep without their blankie or their teddy bear. No, the child is associating themselves with this blanket or teddy bear because the child is associated with feelings, not individuality. It's feelings that make up the person, make up the child. This blanket makes me feel good, so therefore this blanket is me because I'm good. I feel good. Now, this is an adult interpretation, but this is what's going on with the child. They associate things with themselves. That's why it's hard to potty train a child, because they think that they're letting go their urine in the toilet or their feces. It's a part of them. And they have to let that part of them go and flush it down the toilet to never be seen again. That is terrorizing for a child. That's one of the things that I learned in potty training my child, is that's what they think. And so many kids hold on and refuse to go to the washroom because they associate that with them, who they are. Like, it comes from their body, so it is them. It's like they're losing a limb. Nobody tells the child, you eat the food, it goes into your tummy, and your tummy breaks it up and it goes out of your body. The things your body can't use goes out. It's like garbage, and we're just getting rid of the garbage. Nobody talks to our children like that because we think, oh, our children won't understand. Well, we don't understand our children, why they're hanging on to blankets and security things and refusing to have a bowel movement. It's because they can't let go, because they're identifying things of their outside world as being a part of them. And that's what they do with emotions. That's what they do with feelings. And so these feelings grow with us, and we take these feelings with us in our adulthood, and we're still feeling the pain and we don't understand. Well, now you can understand. And you've just got to disassociate yourself from those feelings. That's it. Once you become detached and learn to disassociate your feelings, your negative feelings, from who you are now, healing is done. Healing solved. You don't need to have, therapy sessions. You don't need, to have this masterclass and have, like, even my e-coaching courses. As soon as you learn how to detach yourself, it's done. But you can participate in my e-coaching courses because there's a lot of biblical insight and knowledge on what makes you tick and what makes other people tick. It's still useful. But we can save ourselves the long-winded trouble of working out our pain, 5 years, 6 years, 20 years, 50 years, if we just learn to detach. We're not little kids anymore. So we don't need to hang on to our feelings like a safety blanket. These feelings are not keeping us safe. We don't need to identify with them anymore. Hi, Steffi. Nice to see you. This is the day the Lord has made. So let's be glad in it. Yes, this is the day the Lord has made, so let's rejoice and be glad in it. Yes. And the joy of the Lord is our strength. We can do all things in Jesus who strengthens us. We can do all things in joy. So triggers happen because we allow ourselves to be disrespected. And we let that disrespect go. We let it go once, we let it go twice, we let it go 5 times, we let it go 20 times, and it builds up, and finally we become no more. We've had enough. Our tolerance level has been breached. And we don't put up with it. And that's what makes us look and appear bitchy and unruly and mean and nasty. Because we let it go before. I don't know what's gotten into you. I've never seen this from you. We've known each other for 6 months and you're just saying this now? You can save yourself the problem by saying, you know what? Doing this makes me feel uncomfortable. I have to walk away from this. You know what? I don't want to talk about my personal life with you. We've just known each other. We just met today. I'm not comfortable of sharing. I don't want you sharing your personal life with me, and I'm not going to share my personal life with you until we know each other. So let's focus on something else. And you can say, you know what? I've said no once to you already. You're not listening to my no, and you're thinking that you have the power to change my no into a yes. Well, that's not just ignoring me. That's disrespectful. And you're showing me that you do not care. And this for me is an immediate sign of disrespect. So it's a no-go. I can no longer trust you. And I have to walk away from this relationship. The disrespect of a narcissist is a tell. But it is also a test from them. They disrespect us to see how much control in the relationship we will give them. They don't take control. We give it to them. Yes, at the beginning of the relationship, they lie to us by mirroring ourselves back to us. But even then, we are giving them control. The first time, when you don't know those red flags, but now that you've given yourself time to research what narcissism is, the behavior, going forward, when the narcissist mirrors your mannerisms back to you, that's your chance to test the spirits to see if they are of God. Test the spirits to see if they really are of you. The narcissist can mirror your mannerisms, but they can never mirror your intent. So challenge them with the intention that you carry. Say something to them that would normally make you emotionally vulnerable, but you've already dealt with those feelings, so any negative reaction that they give you is not going to hurt you. Test them. Test them by sharing something that is normally or emotionally vulnerable, but it's not going to hurt you by them not reacting in emotional and meeting you where you're at. It's not going to hurt you because you've already dealt with that. And you already understand the narcissist, that they can't meet you in any empathetic way. So make yourself vulnerable to empathy and be aware that if they can't meet your empathetic needs or meet you with empathy, you know who you're dealing with. Test them. Test them. We give the narcissist control over ourselves because we are not in control. We're not self-aware. Triggers are a fear-based response out of something happening to you that was bad, yes, and harmful, yes, and that makes you feel emotionally or physically unsafe, yes, but triggers are our emotions that are building up and building up and building up because there's something preconceived inside of us that the narcissist is bringing out. There's something in us that we are neglecting and we're projecting onto them. The narcissist provokes us to trigger for their own reasons. But if you can turn this around, turn a negative into a positive, and next time you're triggered, you can say, why did I feel that? The narcissist is making me feel because. Nobody can make you feel something that isn't already pre-existing in you. The narcissist doesn't give anger to you. The narcissist makes you angry based on the anger that's already inside of you, based on situations that you've already endured that have made you angry, that invoke an angry response. So where in you does that anger reside that has yet to be alleviated? See, this is where I said earlier, I respect the narcissist, because respecting the narcissist allows you to see that aside from their own motives, their own bad motives, you can turn that bad motive, that negative, into a positive by seeing, okay, the narcissist is challenging somewhere in me that I have yet to see, that I have yet to address. So that trigger from the narcissist, it wasn't from them. They just provoked it out in me. I'm not going to give them that control. I'm not going to give them the accolades that they were able to do this to me. No, they provoked something that was already existing in me already that I just wasn't aware of. We give the narcissist control because we do not yet know ourselves well enough to control ourselves. So I hope this has helped you. So with that said, go make your day great And we'll see you back here at 10 o'clock p.m. Eastern time. If you want to hang with us on a Friday night, we'd love to have you. Don't know what we're going to talk about, but so bring your comments, your questions, and suggestions, and let's do this. Let's have fun. Let's engage and get to know one another and help each other on our healing journey. You are watching Positively Spiritual, and my name is Shannon Gilmore, and I am your peer support mentor, Christian author, sister in arms, helping you guys to do this and work out your pain and healing. Oh yeah, this is good. We're doing this. So thank you for being a part of my growth and being a part of growing this channel and making it our healing hub. I love you guys. Go make your day great. Have a good day. See you later. Bye-bye.